Hi everyone, Aaron here for Zollotech, and we're going to compare the Galaxy S6 Edge to the iPhone 6 Plus. Now I picked the S6 Edge and the 6 Plus because they're in the similar price bracket. Here we have a 32GB model of the S6 Edge and a 64GB model of the 6 Plus. They're both around $850, and they both carry a $100 premium over the other version of the phone that they sell. Now, the main thing, obviously, on the S6 Edge is the curved display, and both of these screens are really, really nice to use, but the S6 Edge is just a little bit more vibrant and a little better looking, and that's really due to its 1440 by 2560 pixel count with 577 pixels per inch. On the iPhone 6 Plus, we have a 5.5-inch display with 1080p, or 1080 by 1920, 401 pixels per inch. We have a Super AMOLED screen here and an IPS LCD display or screen here. They're both extremely nice, and some people, like myself, I actually prefer an LCD IPS display over AMOLED, but when it comes to what they actually look like in the detail, especially up close, the S6 Edge definitely is the better of the two. Now the cameras on the back both protrude out, as you can see here and here, and I have a skin on the back of my 6 Plus. But we have a 16 megapixel camera here, and we have an 8 megapixel camera here, dual LED flash, and a single LED flash. We also have a heart rate monitor that they have incorporated there as well. Both cameras are pretty good, and they're both something that I think most people would be really happy with as a day-to-day camera. The 6 Plus is probably a more consistent camera, where the S6 Edge has a little bit better low light camera, and sometimes it's a little oversaturated. So the processor, I was going to say computer, but the processor inside actually, or whatever software they're running, kind of oversaturates the pictures a little bit, but pretty much most people are going to be happy, especially if they're just day-to-day users and are not really serious photographers. I think most people will be pretty happy with either one. Now, internally, they're very different. In the S6 Edge, we have an Exynos 7 octa-core processor, or 8-core processor at 2.1 gigahertz, so pretty impressive. Inside the 6 Plus, we have a 1.4 gigahertz dual-core processor called the Apple A8, so both are really good, and in fact, in day-to-day use, you're really not going to see any lag, any slowdown. In fact, the S6 Edge has 3 gigabytes of RAM. We only have 1 gigabyte of RAM in the iPhone, but they both seem to perform well. They really don't have any slowdowns, anything like that. They're both quick, and this is sideways for some reason, but let's rotate this back. And both run the latest versions, so we have iOS 8 here, and we have Android Lollipop here, or Android 5.0 or 5.1, depending on which versions you have. Now, both devices have built-in batteries that are non-removable, and that's new for the Samsung. You can't remove the battery anymore, but we do get wireless charging with the Samsung, so we can use a Qi wireless charging platform or a power mat. It's compatible with both this time around, and either will charge your phone. We don't get that with the iPhone, but we do get a slightly larger battery with the iPhone. So in the iPhone, we have a 2915 milliamp battery, and in the S6 Edge, we have a 2550 milliamp hour battery. Now, according to their specs anyway, we get 24 hours of talk time on the 6 Plus and 17 hours of talk time on the S6 Edge. Now, in my day-to-day use, you get a day and a half or so with the 6 Plus with normal use. Some people even get 2 days. I probably get 1 to 1.5, where I get about 1 with the S6 Edge. That just seems to be the way it is. Now, if both are in standby, they'll easily last days. Now, overnight, letting them sit in standby, the Galaxy S6 Edge really lost no battery power, a couple percent. Same with the 6 Plus, so no issues there. One advantage that I forgot to mention with the camera is we get 4K video recording on the Edge as well, so that's one nice thing that you don't get with an iPhone, and who knows when they're going to add that, although you couldn't really see it on either display because they're both not 4K displays. So I'm not really sure how many people care about that too much right now, but they both have really good cameras in both of them, like I mentioned before. Now, their day-to-day use, the Edge obviously has this curved display that has some neat features. If you lay it down, you get some notifications. They blink in here. You can kind of see a glow from the side, and that's a really neat idea. But most people that I handed this phone to, and also handed the regular S6 to, prefer the feel of the S6 over the Edge. Now this carries a premium because of this curved display, and most people said while they like the idea, it's just not something they want to use day to day. They'd rather have the other phone. And the wider sides here really make it feel nicer on the S6 as opposed to the Edge. But I kind of like this idea, but I just don't know that it's going to be used too much yet. On the 6 Plus, you've got a little bit larger display, and aside from it being really slippery, it's really nice in the hand. They both have a really nice, unique design. Now, they both have fingerprint scanners as well, and the iPhone's definitely works a lot better. Now, I know some people have said they like the idea of the Samsungs having it, and I have programmed my fingers to all of these, and really the iPhone very rarely, unless my fingers either damp or wet after just washing them, it works every time with whatever finger I've programmed. The S6 and the S6 Edge, I really get a lot of errors with this, and it just errors over and over and over, and it's a lot more tedious to set up initially than the Touch ID. But that's just my experience. Maybe someone else has had a different experience. However, Apple owns the patent on this particular technology, and no one else is using it that I know of at this point. So that definitely makes a difference when it comes to that. I like that they included it, but it just so far isn't so great. Now, obviously, with Android, you can customize it. If you don't like the way it looks, you can change it. This runs TouchWiz, Samsung's customized version of Android. And in this particular version, it's much less intrusive and different than stock Android, which is nice to see. On iPhones, we get iOS, and it's pretty familiar, and a lot of people like that, and some people don't. It just depends what you're really looking for. But overall, they're both great devices, and there's a lot more I guess we could go into with benchmarks and things, and I'll do that in a different video. But usability and all the features, they're basically both mature platforms at this point. It's really more, do you like Android better? You like iOS better? And both are great devices. It's really up in the air. Now, you lost the waterproof device on the S6 over the S5. So that's one thing. If you wanted a waterproof device, you're going to have to look out for. But Samsung did add Gorilla Glass 4 on here, where we have INX glass, which is basically Gorilla Glass on the iPhone as well. But this glass seems to be, I guess, more scratch resistant. This one does have some scratches. I've been using it without a screen protector for some time, and it does have some very light scratches around the corners, and that's just from being in my pocket. This one hasn't scratched at all so far, but it hasn't been out as long as well, so it's hard to say. But overall, they're both good phones. Like I said, I'd love to hear what you have to say in the comments below. As far as the operating systems go, again, it's your preference, so that's going to be the choice right there. What do your family members have? Most of mine have iOS, so that's usually what I end up using, but I also carry an Android phone with me at all times as well. So let me know which one you prefer and why, and if you have any other comments about the Edge versus the S6, let me know there as well. If you haven't subscribed already, please subscribe. As always, thanks for watching. This is Aaron. I'll see you next time.